Did you know that Nigeria once had a plane hijacking incident? Shocking. I know. If that surprised you, you're not alone. It's funny how Gen Zs mostly get a bad rep for not knowing enough about things of the past. But we want to be honest for a minute. Many millennials and even some people from Generation X might also have missed out on this part of Nigeria's history. So, before Play Network Studios and Netflix bring this shocking story back into the limelight with their upcoming movie, Hijack 93, let's take a trip down memory lane to uncover some of the facts of that daring era. This is all you need to know about the Nigerian airplane hijacking incident of 1993 before Hijack 93 arrives. The year was 1993, and Nigeria was navigating political and social turmoil. Out of the blue, a group of 4 young men, armed with nothing more than toy guns and a decisive mind, hijacked Nigerian Airways plane mid-flight. Their demands? Justice, the proceeds of a fair election, and the release of a detained political figure. Sounds like something out of a blockbuster thriller, right? Well, this is real history, and no jokes. It really happened here in Nigeria. As we approach the release of Hijack 93, the Netflix adaptation of this remarkable event, it's worth understanding why this incident was so important at the time, the motive of these 4 young men, and why, even though their actions may have mostly been swept under the carpet with a lot of Nigerian history, the significance of what they were fighting for remains ever relevant till this day. Let's set the scene. It was Monday, October 25, 1993. Ernest Shonekan was interim president of Nigeria. A Nigerian Airways plane took off from Lagos, heading to Abuja. Among the passengers were Nigerian civilians, politicians, and local and international business and political figures. An ordinary flight, until it wasn't. 4 young men, Richard Ogunderu, Kabir Adenuga, Bennett Oluwadaisi, and Kenny Razak Lawal, reportedly aged between 19 and 22, hijacked the plane. Report has it that the plan was for them to head to Germany, but when it became obvious that they were running out of fuel, they demanded that the pilot reroute the plane to Niamey, Niger Republic. But why, you might ask? These hijackers were not criminals in the traditional sense. They identified themselves as patriots with a mission to save Nigeria from the political chaos of the time. This was just months after the June 12, 1993 elections, adjudged the freest and fairest in Nigeria's history, but was controversially annulled by then military leader General Ibrahim Babangida. Upon landing in Niger, the hijackers identified themselves as the Movement for the Advancement of Democracy, MAD, and their demands included the reinstatement of Moshood Abiola as Nigeria's elected president and a call for an end to the corruption and military dictatorship that had gripped the country. After 2 hours of negotiation, they freed 129 people, including Rong Yiren, the vice president of China, from the plane and held back the crew and Nigerian government officials. They gave the Nigerian authorities 72 hours to agree to their demands, which at first included the resignation of Shonekan's military-backed government, else they set the plane on fire. The armada of armed military men gathered at the airport couldn't yet storm the plane because they were unsure how sophisticated in skill and armory the hijackers were. It took a while, some days, long conversations, and according to one of the hijackers, one soul on board when the military finally stormed the plane. And the hijack was over. The 4 hijackers spent 9 years, 4 months in Niger prison. Shortly after the hijack, Ernest Shonekan's interim government was replaced by General Sani Abacha's dictatorship. This incident remains Nigeria's first and only plane hijacking to date. This hijacking was more than just an isolated event. It was a reflection of the deep frustration many Nigerians felt at the time. The annulment of the June 12 election had plunged the country into widespread unrest, with protests, strikes, and clashes between pro-democracy groups and the military government. One of the hijackers, Ogundiru, said in a 2009 interview with ICIR, "We wanted change. Our action confirmed that when a system is inhumane, it could produce the extreme in all of us." For many, the hijacking served as a dramatic, albeit extreme, symbol of defiance against the oppressive political system. The young men's decision to use toy guns was both audacious and symbolic, highlighting their intent to make a statement rather than cause harm. And although the hijackers' actions were condemned, their demands resonated with a large portion of the Nigerian public who shared their frustrations. The event also forced the Nigerian government to reckon with the international embarrassment it caused. It was a wake-up call that Nigeria's political issues had reached a boiling point that could no longer be ignored, even by the global community. The upcoming Netflix adaptation, Hijack 93, is produced by Play Network Studios. Now, if you're familiar with Charles Ogbaleke's Playground, you know they've been carving a niche in Nollywood remakes and delivering experiences of diverse enjoyment range. Thus, the expectations for this production are naturally high. I'm especially excited for Hijack 93 because it's based on such a dramatic real-life event, a story so unbelievable that it almost reads like fiction. But here's the big question. What can we, the viewers, expect from this film? First off, if you're a fan of high-stakes drama with tense edge-of-your-seat moments, I think this is one to watch out for. The story has all the ingredients for a captivating narrative. Ordinary young men pushed to extraordinary extremes, political intrigue, suspense, and a ticking clock scenario where every decision could change everything. It's a beauty thriller. But beyond the action, this film is likely to delve into the why of it all, the motivations behind the hijacking, and the psychological and emotional turmoil that drove such a drastic act. For the deep movie lovers, this is where things get really interesting. How will the filmmakers balance the hijacking's tense atmosphere with the broader political landscape of Nigeria in the early 90s? Will we see in-depth character studies of the hijackers, or will the film lean more into the suspense and drama of the event itself? There's also the potential for some very powerful visual storytelling. Scenes set inside the airplane could crank up the claustrophobia, making it feel tense and unnerving, while flashbacks might explore the turbulent political climate of the time, adding rich layers to the story. For me, the biggest takeaway will be how this film provokes reflection on Nigeria's political decay, both then and now. How effectively the movie draws connections between the rot in the political system in 1993 and today, 31 years later, will be its strongest mark. Will it offer a profound take-home moment for viewers to chew on long after the credits roll? That, for me, will be a key metric of success. Knowing how these stories can sometimes go, I am cautiously optimistic. I'm hoping to be surprised and impressed, but I'll be watching with reasonable caution, prepared to enjoy the ride, yet mindful of the potential for disappointment. It will be safer if you do so too. So, as Hijack 93 gets ready to land on our screens on October 25, keep in mind that this isn't just a thriller about a daring hijack. It's a window into a defining moment in Nigerian history. The film gives us an opportunity to not only revisit a lesser-known but significant chapter in our past, but also to reflect on the role that ordinary people can play in shaping the course of history, for better or worse. Whether you lived through this period or you're hearing about it for the first time, this film promises to offer a gripping and thought-provoking journey. So mark your calendars, get your popcorns ready, and stay tuned. Hijack 93 arrives Netflix starting October 25, 2024.